Nation, and welcome to another episode of the Easy Cage Show. Guys, I am Darth Easy.
And I'm Randy Cage, and we're both wearing yellow shirts.
And we totally planned this. This is episode 149 of the Easy Cage Show. Guys, I hope y'all are having a very good Sunday watching some football, and I guess that's it, really. I mean, what else is there really to do on Sunday? And to watch the Easy Cage Show. Right. What better way do you want to start a week off by looking at these beautiful faces?
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you, man. Your timing is impeccable. So this week we were going to do Lord of the Rings, and somebody hadn't watched it yet, so I give him another week to watch the movie, and we'll see if he can get done by next weekend. But instead, I was trying to figure out a topic to do for a top 10 because there's not a lot of stuff to do theme around top 10s. But then I was thinking the Evan Hansen movie, or Dear Evan Hansen movie, is set in a high school. So this makes it a perfect opportunity to do top 10 movies set in high school. So I thought it was a fun, cool idea for a top 10. It kind of reaches into a category of films that we talked about before, but it's always fun to revisit these. And then I was looking on my list. We have a bunch of films I've never talked about on the show before. So I'm looking forward to talking about some of these films for the first time, and again with you. So Randy Cage, was this a hard list to compile?
No, I'm guessing we're talking about coming of age films is the one we've done that's been similar to this.
Coming of age. There's some other topics I don't want to give away just because it's a spoiler. So
yeah, no, it wasn't hard. I had like a good 20-ish, 19 movies on here that I was cycling through. Yeah.
Okay. So once me and Randy Cage come up with a topic, we'll go our separate ways and compile our own separate top 10s. I'll do my 10 through 8, you'll do your 10 through 8, I'll do my 7 through 6, you'll do your 7 through 6. Then we'll trade one apiece. Once we've compiled our own separate top 10s, we will create the show between the two of us. Okay, so you started first last time, so I'll go first this time.
Perfect.
So my number 10 is a film that I've really been wanting to rewatch recently, and after probably talking about this film in a few minutes or in a little bit, if you say the magical word, then it'll probably want me to go see this movie again. So my number 10 is Edge of 17.
That is a punch.
Okay. All right, my number 9 is, they're kind of high schoolers, but they had to go undercover. My number 9 is 21 Jump Street.
That's also a punt.
Okay. Okay, I'm pretty sure this one won't be a punt. Number 8 is The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
No, I don't particularly like this movie. I've only watched it once, but
I saw this movie. I think I watched this movie once, and it was. I really, really found the movie very great as Randy Cage walks away, because he just doesn't give a crap about the movie I'm talking about. So he's just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to walk away from this conversation right now. So, yeah, I mean, what I like about this movie, I like the supporting cast. I mean, it's, what's you got Emma Watson in there. As I'm doing. So yeah, I love her in the movie, but it's also got Logan Lerman in there, who's really good in the film, and then you also have Ezra Miller. I think this is really Ezra Miller's kind of breakout movie before he got Flash and he was cast in Fantastic Beasts. And I really like how he's just this kid. Logan Lerman's this kid who he doesn't really fit in with anywhere. Then he finds these friends, and then he has to go through this. This is a growing path for him, and completely change the direction of where his life is going. And I thought this movie was a really great come of age film, but also deals with like the difficulties of being trying to find friends in high school when you also have like a social anxiety, or fits. I can't remember exactly what's wrong with him at times, but he just doesn't really fit anywhere. And when he finds those friends and he finds the girl he likes, it's just a damn good movie. And it's a movie that I would definitely, if I saw it for sale, if I found a Blu-ray of it, I would definitely buy it and definitely watch it. Coming of age movies are definitely one of those films that I revisit a lot, and I love Perks of Being a Wallflower. I think it's a very good one.
I don't remember this too much. It says that he suffered from clinical depression.
Yeah, that's it. So I mean, that's a very relevant thing, especially in schools and society at the moment. So I mean, I think it's
this one sometime.
Yeah, it's a good one. I really recommend it for you to revisit.
Yeah, because I don't really remember it. I just remember being underwhelmed, and it's been almost a decade, 2012, since this movie came out. So.
All right, that's my 10th or 8.
All right, my number 10. I always struggle the most with the number 10s and really it never matters because these never end up making the list anyways. But so I just went with something that I enjoyed having fun with for nostalgic purposes, but also it's kind of a Breakfast Club, but I went with Power Rangers instead of Breakfast Club, basically because I enjoyed Power Rangers.
Okay, so are we saying the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, or are you saying the Power Rangers from a few years ago?
The Power Rangers from a few years ago.
Okay, because the Mighty Morphin wouldn't even count because they're not even, you don't ever see the high school in the movie. Yeah. So, okay.
This movie has a breakfasty club kind of feeling, especially towards the beginning, but they're all high schoolers. And I just had a great time for this movie because Power Rangers is one of my guilty pleasures. I think yours too. And it was just so much fun going back to theaters and seeing it. And it didn't make a whole lot of money. And this cast will probably not ever get this Power Rangers with this cast again. But,
no, unfortunately.
I really enjoyed it. I remember leaving the theater like surprised at how much I liked it. And it has a lot of cool high school stuff in it. You got your geeks and everything. And yeah, so I threw it at number 10 instead. I was going to go with something a little more classic like a Breakfast Club or probably some other ones that you may have in there, but I haven't seen a lot of those movies in 15 years or more, and so I just I went with something that was fresher in my mind that I remembered. I need to go back and watch some of those classic ones.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I really enjoyed Power Rangers, and I love the camaraderie between the 5 as they're not friends, and they all meet in detention, very Breakfast Club like. Mm-hmm. And then I like how they get these powers and they have to rise up. And then you have Bryan Cranston as Sordon, who is basically trying to just manipulate him so he can get back in action. So it was a very different take on Sordon as just the wise mentor that we saw in like the series and all the other stuff with Sword on it. So it was very different from him. And I think it's Bill Hader that voices Alpha. Always like I think it's Bill Hader. Yeah. And I really like that. So I it's good pick for your list. At least it wasn't something really stupid. So and at least I can like the movie that's on the list. So good job.
Well, and I figured the movies I was fighting with to put at number 10, I was like, I bet he'll have some of these on his list and maybe higher. So I was like, well, those will probably make the list anyway. So I might as well throw something in there that I know is not going to make the list. And all right, so my number 9 is Mean Girls. Have you seen Mean Girls?
Yeah, it's an honorable mention for me.
Yeah, I really like Mean Girls. I've seen it a couple times. We rewatched it. Me and my daughter watched it a few years ago, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, Tina Fey wrote this movie, and Lindsay Lohan, back in the day when she was a thing. Who knows what happened to her, but. It's really funny. It's about the cliques in high school and stuff, and I don't know. It's just Gretchen, quit trying to make fetch happen. That's the lines. I just remember a lot of lines from it and stuff, and it's just a funny movie. And while I am not a high school girl or ever was a high school girl,
you weren't.
There is
it's 2021. You can do whatever you want.
There was a lot of stuff in this movie where I was like, yep, that's how high school was. And so it was kind of realistic, too.
I got you. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was this was one of those films that I was struggling with my number 10, but I thought Edge of 17 was more worthy to be on the list than Mean Girls. And I've seen bits and pieces of Mean Girls, but I like this movie. And Lindsay Lohan during the early 2000s, Parent Trap, Freaky Friday, and Mean Girls, and also Rachel McAdams in this movie. Like, this was really one of the first early movies from her, and her clique, the Plastics, is the one thing I remember from the movie. So it's one of those I saw it on TV the other day, watched a little bit of it. I was like, I need to revisit this movie one day. So yeah.
All right. My number 8 is a punt from earlier, and it's The Edge of 17.
Okay.
You had it at 10.
Yeah.
Haley Steinfeld. Was this kind of her breakout role? I can't remember.
No, it was True Grit. True Grit was her breakout role.
But this one's pretty interesting because, she's like kind of geeky, and her best friend starts dating her brother, and it's a lot about dating for a girl. It's another girl movie. I could see girls relating to this way more than me, but I don't know. It had a lot of heart. Haley Steinfeld's great in it. The supporting cast is really good. Woody Harrelson's great as the teacher in this movie. He just wants to get on with his life, but also you can tell he cares and stuff. And I forget what the kid's name is that I really liked in this movie. It was the Asian kid.
Yeah. I think he won an Easy Cage Award for Breakout Star. I think it was Hayden Setso.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
And yeah, he was great in that movie. And someone who that friend whose friend so did the entire story. And then the movie's it's an R-rated, which is something you don't really see for a lot of these high school movies at times. And I love Haley Steinfeld. I mean, her comedy is just her. It's very great how she fits in with her clique, or how she fits in and doesn't fit in at the same time, and she's trying to figure out where she stands in the world without her best friend, because she really has cut off all communication since she's hooked up with her boyfriend. Like I said, this is a movie I need to revisit because I barely remember it, but I remember really enjoying Edge of 17 when I saw it.
Yeah, it's quite good. I think a couple years ago, because that movie isn't that old, but it was on TV or something, or maybe it was on my Voodoo or something, and I was just testing something out and ended up sitting there and watching like the whole movie again. So it is really good. But yeah, that is my 10 through 8. Okay,
my number 7 is a movie that I believe this guy's supposed to be directing a Star Wars movie, or he's directed some episodes of Mandalorian. Okay. And I'm going with Dope.
Dope? Oh, that is a punt, sir.
Okay. I figured it would be, because I know you love that movie. All right, so my number 6 is one of the 90s essential high school films, and I went with Clueless.
Oh, this is one I don't think I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is a very good movie. It's Alicia Silverstone movie. She's this girl. I believe her dad's rich. She also has a young Paul Rudd in the movie as well. This is one of the first really big time Paul Rudd movies, other than maybe like the big Paul Rudd movie with maybe he's not in that. It doesn't matter. So, but anyways, it's basically it's about this story about this girl who is making her way through high school. She has these friends, and then she builds this connection with Paul Rudd. And it's basically, she's clueless. She doesn't really know what's going on, but she's smarter than what people think she is. And it's a really good high school film. And this is the film that got Alicia Silverstone, Batman and Robin probably. And then, we haven't really seen her since. But, for like a one-hit wonder for her, this was such a damn good movie. And I really, really enjoy Clueless. It's such a good one. I think you would really like it if you ever watched it.
Yeah, it was one that I kept seeing on everybody's list that I was like, man, that's one I don't think, if I watch it, I don't remember a single thing about it, but maybe needs one I need to check out.
All right, so 7 through 6.
All right, my number 7 is a punt from earlier, 21 Jump Street.
Okay.
Freaking Channing Tatum and
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. And it's a remake of an old I guess it was a TV show, wasn't it?
Well, it's not even technically a remake because it's technically a continuation
True, because
of the TV show. Because they show up whenever they're at the prom, and Johnny Depp and one guy show up in it. So technically it's not technically a remake. I mean, it is a remake, but it's technically a continuation of the TV series.
It's super funny. I mean, Ice Cube is hilarious in this movie too, as their like police chief. I mean, he is so freaking.
Yeah, he's hilarious in the movie. I'll be honest with you, I probably like 22 Jump Street a little more.
Yeah.
And I really like Ice Cube more in that film, especially whenever he finds out when Jonah Hill is banging his daughter. And he's saying in like the moment Channing Tatum reacts to John, he's like, "Oh shit!" And then he like, "You high-fived him!" Like it's like one of the funniest like 2-3 minutes of the movie. And then, but 21 Jump Street's still a very good movie. I like how the roles have kind of reversed, where it shows him in high school, where Jonah Hill was the nerdy kid who everybody picked on, and then in Channing Tatum was the jock who then they get to go to prom, and then when they get to high school, what was cool back in the day is not what's cool now. So now geeky is cool and athletic kind of and so Channing Tatum has a much harder time, and Jonah Hill realizes where he is, and also has a Brie Larson before she really broke out as what she did in Room. So you forget like Brie Larson was in like all these comedy shows and movies and stuff, and she's really good in the show. Dave Franco is him, and who's I forget who the other bad guy is in the movie. The teacher, I can't remember.
Mr. Walters, Rob Riggle. Is that who you're talking about?
I guess, I don't know. The one that shoot the dick off in the movie.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, okay. So and so he's kind of the
Chris Parnell, the geekier one. I can't remember. There's a couple teachers in the movie, but they know what we're talking about. Directed by Lord and Miller too.
Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, and this is a fun movie. It's a funny movie, and also like I like how it is a high school movie because it's set in a high school. So, but it's the only film that our characters. It's probably the only film on our list. Our characters aren't actually the high school age in the movie. So
yeah.
So I enjoy 21 Jump Street. I think it's a good movie, and I had to slide it in there on my list. We're pretty similar where we had it in our list.
Yep.
Okay, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Emma Stone's Easy A.
Okay, yeah, that didn't make my list.
I freaking love this movie. It's so good because it just shows you how rumors in high school how they can travel, even if they're not even true. It can ruin your whole high school career. And Emma Stone is great in the movie, and I like her parents in the movie are really funny. And it's just it's a great movie. You know, everybody thinks that she's a whore, and so they kind of she kind of rolls with it and takes it as a use the school gossip to kind of move her up the social ladder, basically, even though it's not true. But yeah, I love this movie.
I mean,
as this like kind of really goody two shoes chick.
Yeah, it was religious, right? She was very, she led like a church group or something, and she just looked at Emma Stone like the dad. I've only seen the movie about once or twice, and it's been probably, I don't know when this movie came out, but it's probably a little after it came out. Because I think I watched it on TV one day or on DVD or something, and that's probably the last time I watched it. But I do remember the movie, and Emma Stone's great. I mean, this is like Superbad, and then Superbad. It wasn't really her. It's not really her movie, Superbad. But Easy A was really that one where I was like, damn, she's good. That's somebody to watch out for in the future. So yeah, I really like Easy A. I think it's a good movie. So glad you had it on your list.
That's 7 through 6.
Okay, my number 5 is a shame. A shame. This is not on your list. And my number 5 is
How do you know it's not?
The Breakfast Club.
Oh yeah, because I said earlier it wasn't. Yeah, I had this as my honorable mention at number 13. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
I picked Power Rangers over it because I knew that you're number 5. That's probably gonna make our top 10 right there. So I get both. I get to mention Power Rangers, but also get The Breakfast Club, which is a great movie.
Okay, so yeah, Breakfast Club is like one of those. For me, it's one of those films I see on TV. I can turn it on, and it's a comfort food. I can just turn it on and enjoy it. I love this movie. I mean, it's Breakfast Club. I mean, you got all these 5 different characters who are all different from each other. You have the jock, you have the popular girl, you have the goth chick, you have the rebel, you have the nerd kid, and they all have to spend a detention on a Saturday afternoon. It's a John Hughes directed film, and they all learn that really they're all kind of the same people. They all walk these different parts of life, and the ending, whenever with like "Don't Forget About Me," is like one of the great endings of the film. Whenever I just think this movie is just such a great job. And it's just such a good John Hughes film. It's such an easy film for me to watch. Molly Ringwald, one of her iconic roles. This is the only one I picked from the John Hughes Molly Ringwald movies. From Pretty in Pink, it's a very good one, and also 16 Candles, which I find a little overrated, but she's very good in all these high school drama films. In the John Hughes kind of era of film. So, yeah, I went with, I had to go with this one. So, yeah, Breakfast Club. Shame you did not put this on the list, so F you, Brady. F you.
Sorry.
That's my number 5.
My number 5 is The Spectacular Now.
Okay.
Great Shailene Woodley.
Great. Okay, is she really great?
I love Shailene Woodley.
What has she done? What has she done lately? Let me just ask you. What has she done lately?
Of course, she had that movie where she almost killed herself on the water or whatever. I forget what that was. That was okay.
Adrift? That's not that good of a movie.
Yeah. I mean, it was okay.
You must that great though. I mean, and then like she was in those
stupid. She was good in it.
Whatever you say. It was just okay. Divergence, no.
She's good in those.
Movies are terrible.
Anyway, this is not the Shailene Woodley show.
Don't call someone the great Shailene Woodley unless you can back it up.
Fantastic. This movie's really good because it doesn't follow along where you think it's going to go. I mean, Miles Teller is this like super popular, just living his life, having the best time of his life in high school. He meets this girl, Shailene Woodley's kind of super geeky. They kind of fall for each other. Really, she falls for him, and she kind of changes his outlook on life and things. And it's really good. It's serious, but there is some funny stuff. They have great chemistry. Shailene Woodley is awesome in the movie, and I just really enjoy it. Brie Larson's in this movie too. This is another one where she just shows up. But I think this movie I don't own. When I was going through this list, I was like, oh, I need to buy this movie because I want to watch it again because I liked it that much. But yeah, that's my number 5.
Okay, I was just looking up the cast for the film. I mean, this movie has a really big cast. Like I was trying to remember that Bob Odenkirk, a guy who played Better Call Saul, and Saul Goodman, he's in the movie, gets the boss for Miles Teller's character. I forgot about that. But also apparently has Kyle Chandler. He plays Miles Teller's dad in the movie. Also, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's in the movie as well. I don't remember that. So it's one of those movies I've seen once. Really enjoyed it when I watched it, but I haven't gone back to revisit it. And don't know when I will, but I like the whole story. I do like the story of the movie. So, yeah, it's a good one.
Thank you. Sure, thank you. That's my number 5.
Okay, my number 4 is I had to throw a horror movie in here. Oh. So my number 4 is my favorite slasher film and one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and I went with Scream.
Yeah, once again, not my favorite movie, but okay.
Okay, yeah, Scream for me is just such. Well, it's a great film. I mean, you have this girl who you have the ghost face killer who is basically targeting her to die, and basically it's set in the school where it's set in high school. The killer has been killing off a bunch of these people. The movie starts off with crap. What's that girl's name?
Nev Campbell.
No, that's the star of the movie. It starts off with. Give me a second. I'm looking it up at the moment. Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore. She's on the phone and she gets killed off. It's the Scream movies always start off with like a celebrity guest cameo just gets killed off. But then the story like it pays homage to a lot of other horror movies like Halloween, Friday the 13th, even Psycho in there. And it's fun watching them where like they're like she's basically breaking the mode of other horror movies. We're like, yeah, I'm not gonna just run up the stairs like they do in all horror movies. I'm gonna walk out the front door, but then like she can't walk out the front door, and the killer it makes sense of why it happens the way it happens. And Scream is just one of those movies, and it's very funny, but the horror stuff is pretty good. It's got your girl from Friends in there, Monica. It's whatever her name is.
Oh.
Yeah. Courtney Cox. She plays the reporter in the movie who gets punched in the face by Nev Campbell, and who also kind of falls for the sheriff Dewey in the town. It's a good movie. Like I don't know if you've seen it recently or ever.
Time back in the 90s. No, I have not watched it recently.
So you should check it out. I think it's one that you might watch and be like, no, it's pretty good. I like that. Even the second one's pretty good. Not as good as the first one. They make the jokes in the second movie about the sequel is never better than the original. Like it's funny in the first movie that you have this one buddy who he's the horror expert. He knows all about horror movies, and he just has all the rules. Like you don't have sex in a horror movie if you want to live. So yeah, so Scream number 4 had to go with that one.
All that stuff does sound familiar. So I think I've seen several of these movies before, and I just don't remember particularly liking them. But
I got you.
All right, my number 4, I went with Sing Street.
Okay, that's a good pick. Did I even have that as honorable mention? I did not. That's a good pick though.
Yeah, this movie, it's about this kid who he's got kind of a rough family life going on, and he goes to start a band, and it's about most of these movies. It's about a girl. He falls in love with a girl, and it's got this kind of love story going in. It's got great music, and I really enjoyed this movie. This is another one where I was like, I cannot believe I do not own this movie, and immediately added it to my wish list because I've only watched it the one time, and I want to get it on Blu-ray and watch it again. This was one that I remember you telling me about. It took me several months to eventually watch it, and then when I did, I was like, "Oh, this is freaking awesome!"
Yeah, Sing Street's great. I mean, basically, it's set in Ireland, and his family is dirt poor, and he has to go to this Catholic or I think this either it's a Catholic school or a Jesuit school, and but he starts his band, and then he builds this relationship with this girl who wants to be a model, and it's about dreams, and it's got that really terrible guy from the fourth Transformers movie. I forget what his name is. But he's great in the movie because he plays the brother to the main guy, and the one guy was in the movie that just came out recently, Coda. He's the star of Sing Street, and the whole cast is great. I mean, really, and the music, like you said, the music is great in the movie. It's a movie I've seen very recently, so it's very it's still fresh in my mind. I got a bunch of the songs on my Spotify playlist, so every time I hear it, it always makes me want to go back and watch the movie. So yeah, Sing Street, good pick on your list.
Every once in a while, right? Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. All right, so my number 3. This is a movie that I made you watch for our old classic movie rewatch back when I believe we did the movie recap show before it was the Easy K show. So it's been a minute. So my number 3 is Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, I have that in my honorable mentions. Look at me.
Yeah, should be on the list, but all right, whatever. Back to the Future is one of those classic Roger Zemeckis films. Michael J. Fox as Marty. You have Doc Brown, and the whole premise of it is that he gets a DeLorean, turns it into a time machine, goes back in time, almost has sex with his mother, and he's trying to make sure him and his mom and his dad fall in love with each other. So it's set in like a 1950s school, also in the 80s part of the school as well, and it's just such a fun movie. Like, it's like sci-fi movies that are some of the great. It's just a fun movie watching Michael J. Fox going through town, trying to get his parents get back to each other. The comedy in the movie is also very great, and Doc Brown, like, is very great in the movie whenever he finds out that Marty's from the future. And he's like, well, who's the president in the 1980s? And he said, like, Ronald Reagan, the actor. Like, it's just such a great film. I love Back to the Future. It's one that I had to put in my top 10 because it is a high school movie.
It is, and it's funny, and it's a coming of age story, and it's sci-fi, and it's everything. But for me, this movie is a lot like Ghostbusters for me, and I think is where it so got built up hype-wise for me that when I finally did watch it, because it was one of the movies I had not seen, it's good, but I just don't think it's the greatest thing of all time like everybody else does. So that's why it's an honorable mention for me. I still have never watched the third one. I watched the second one, I remember, right after it, and not liking it as much as the first one, and then never did watch the third one because everybody was like, "It's the worst one." So
I still haven't watched the second or third one.
No, you think they'll ever make another Back to the Future? Because you could totally do the same kind
as long as it's not a remake. Like, if we could do this like a continuation where they found a DeLorean and they find a DeLorean and then they get in it and they just drive and they realize, and then they go back in time or something. I think that would be very cool for them to do. I mean, I think there is complete pocket as long as they don't do it the Ghostbuster style where let's just redo the whole movie and have a DeLorean in there. No, you could totally do a continuation of the Back to the Future trilogy. And so, yeah, I think that would be fun to do. I don't know if they'll ever do it. I'm sure they will eventually. I mean, if you look at some of the movies that they remake, you're like, really? You're remaking that? So, sure.
All right. Well, my number 3 is a pump from way, way back, and that is Dope.
Okay.
Yeah, I freaking love this movie. It kind of came out of nowhere for me. What's the director? Rick, what's his name? I can't remember his name now. You were right. He did some Mandalorian. He directed some Mandalorian.
Yeah, he's also one of the fire or the jet X-wing pilots with him and David Filoni.
Oh yeah. Rick Famuyiwa. I can't.
Yeah, Rick Famuyiwa.
It's really funny because it's these super geeky kids. They live kind of in the hood a little bit, and they get kind of swindled into selling drugs, if I remember correctly. And I actually do own this movie, and I was like, I want to watch this again because I pulled up the trailer to kind of get my mind back in it, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember how funny this movie is, how geeky these kids are. It's got some good music too because they have a cool little band, and yeah, it's just some kids out of their element, but they're smart, so
Yeah, I mean, this movie was very clever, and I love how, I mean, especially today of where we are as a society with race and everything. And I love how the movie where at the end, whenever you have the main kid where he says, like, now would you even if I was white or anything, you wouldn't even think second about my application. But because I look different, I look different, I'm not even going to be considered to go because I think he wants to go to Harvard. If I remember, I've seen the movie once or twice, but yeah, the cast is great together. I mean, I love all three of. I love the entire cast of the film, and so yeah, this movie's great. I love what the premise of it is. They get some dope. They're basically forced to sell it, and then he uses that as his college application, which I think was very clever. I mean, though, it's a very clever movie, and it's directed incredibly well done. So yeah, Dope's a very good one, and I knew it. I was like, oh yeah, that is a good high school movie. I'm gonna put that on my list, and I was like, you'll have it a little higher than me. So, yeah, good job.
Thanks.
All right, so my number 2 is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
This is the one that I had at 11 on my honorable mentions. Oh, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, because it's the one I remembered the most. But still, once again, it's something I haven't seen in 15, 20 years. I remember the Deadpool in credit scene more than I remember parts from this movie. So I was just like, yeah, it just doesn't do it for me. Honorable mention, though. I figured you'd have it on here. There's one that I'm guessing is your number one. If not, I'm gonna be surprised you don't have it on here. But
okay, we'll have to play a guess game whenever we get to the number one. So I already know I'm pretty sure I know what your number one is, and which it's not on my list so at all. So I'm figuring you have figured it out by now. Yeah. So yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off is this is for me. This is a movie that every time I see it on TV, just like with Breakfast Club, I'm more likely to watch Ferris Bueller than I am actually watch Breakfast Club again, because Ferris Bueller is just one of those incredible films. Like the whole premise of it is Matthew Broderick. He needs a day off. He plays sick, and him and his buddy Cameron, who Cameron's sick. He's in this part of his life where he's just like, and he doesn't know really what he wants to do after high school. And this is Ferris Bueller's last time to take a day off before, because if he takes any more days off, and then you have the Principal Sweeney is trying to make sure he is in school, but then he's going to send him to homeschool, hold him back a year. And it's funny. And then also the funniest parts of the whole film is when the entire school is rallying behind this. The whole town of Chicago is rallying behind Ferris Bueller because they all think he's dying. Like Wrigley Field, it says "Save Ferris" on it. Whenever the mom goes to the police station to get her daughter out of the police station, and you have a young Charlie Sheen in the movie, and whenever he's like, just let your son know we're really rooting for the guy. We're really rooting for him. And it's just such an incredible film. But the coming of age part of the film is for Cameron, the Ferrari, the song. Oh yeah, the music's very iconic. Whenever they go to the parking garage and they are like, I'm a professional, and him and one buddy just drive around Chicago in the Ferrari, and when they're driving off the thing, you hear the Star Wars theme. It's very iconic in the film. And then the girlfriend of Ferris Bueller, and then when he's running across the neighborhood to try to get home before his sister gets home, because she's trying to buzz Ferris because he always gets away with it, and she can't get away with nothing. And it's just such an incredible movie, and it's a high school movie because everybody wants to ditch school and wants to have a day off from school. So it very fits into the mode of being a high school film. So yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off is one of those films that I probably watch at least once a year. It's one of those films. It's a Star Wars for me. It's one of those films that I can watch over and over again and really enjoy it.
A Star Wars for you, damn, son, damn. Yeah, not for me. I
gotta rewatch it.
What you're talking about? I've seen it multiple times. It's on TV a lot. But just I mean, it's good, but I don't know. My number 2, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I knew this was gonna be on your list. Okay,
and with
yeah,
Spider-Man: Homecoming
okay.
because it's the first, all I think. Let's see, the first. Yeah, both the other Spider-Mans take place in high school too, but this is the true one where it actually feels realistically high school, especially a realistically high school in this day and age. As someone who
Mhm.
works in high school, it's very familiar. It's the Gen Z high school of right now, but and it's a great Spider-Man movie. Tom Holland is great as Peter Parker, and I like his chemistry with Zendaya. I know you don't.
Well,
Even in
she's barely, but she's not even in the movie though,
this
really.
one,
And there's not really much interaction
the
between.
blossoming of something to come sooner down the line. It might
But
be a great
but
movie.
it's more about Peter Parker and Vulture's daughter. That's
Yeah,
the relationship.
it
You
is.
don't even realize. You're like, oh yeah,
That's his
my friends
first
call me
one.
NJ. I mean,
Yeah. She's in
it's
there. She's the
yeah,
friend.
but she's like a small part, like a barely small part of the film.
Yeah, I don't remember what her name is. What's the name of the girl? The actress.
Zendaya.
No. His actual girlfriend in that movie.
Oh, I had no idea.
Michael Keaton's daughter. Anyways, it's a good movie. A lot of fun high school stuff in there. It's a good coming of age movie, and it just got Spider-Man too, which is a bonus. It's got Iron Man in there. You got Michael
Mhm.
Keaton being the Vulture. Um, it's good stuff.
I mean, it's good. I mean, because it does balance it. I mean, it definitely fits in the list with him trying to fit all this stuff from trying to fit a normal life, his high school life, hanging out with his friend Ned, who was a character I knew nothing about. I don't know if he was a character they created for the movie or if he was a comic book character. Doesn't matter. He was really great in the film, and he's like, I just want to be that guy in the chair. And Michael Keaton's really what elevates this movie for me, really to the next level as Vulture. Like just such a cool villain. The other Spider-Man movies do take place in high school. I mean, you could have gone with. I believe Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I believe, is he's a high school student.
High school too, yep.
Then you could have also gone with the first Spider-Man. It's a little bit of a stretch because he doesn't really become Spider-Man until he's out of high school.
Yeah.
Like he gets bitten, and it's like at the end of his days as a high school student. But the Amazing Spider-Man is totally set in high school. So you could have gone with that one as well. So, but yeah, Homecoming. Yeah, I figured. I knew this was going to be on the list. I didn't know how high it was going to be. So, all right. Time for the guessing game. What's my number one?
I feel like your number one is Dead Poets Society.
You are correct. It is Dead Poets Society.
See, that's what I had as my honorable mention. I had Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Dead Poets Society, and The Breakfast Club. And I was like, all three of these are going to be on Big Easy's list, and they're going to be way up there. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with movies I want to talk about, and then those movies will be on the list anyways. So I do like Dead Poets Society. I have not seen this movie in forever. Mm-hmm. But Oh, Captain, My Captain.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is one of those movies that there are some movies that I watch, and when I turn it on, I'm going to cry. And Dead Poets Society is number one of those films. It was very high on my top 100 movies of all time. And I love the movie, though. I mean, it's set in a private school. There's you have a young Ethan Hawke in the movie. And the whole story of it is you have this teacher who's played by the great Robin Williams as this teacher who inspires him to think differently. Carpe diem, seize the day. And then you have like the sad moments of when the one kid kills himself because his dad just pulled him out and won't allow him to achieve his dreams. And then the end when they basically blame it all on Mr. I forget what the character's name is, but they blame it on Robin Williams' character. And the ending of the movie, when the principal is trying to control the class, is basically decided to teach the school himself, and then he comes in and everyone turned on him, even Hawke's character. And at the end, whenever he's like, I had it, he's like, I don't blame you. And when he's walking out, and then Ethan Hawke starts the movie. The guy who couldn't even speak in front of people is the one that starts the movement. Oh, Captain, My Captain, and then everyone on the everyone in the class, like half the people in the classroom, even the people that are in the Dead Poet Society, are doing it. It's just such a great moment and such a great movie. Makes me cry every time. I mean, this Good Will Hunting. I mean, are the two pinnacle Robin Williams movies. That and also Good Morning Vietnam are very good Robin Williams movies. I mean, the guy is a comedic force, and he is very funny in this movie. But for me, it's the drama and how he connects to these students. It's really what makes this movie what holds. It keeps to it passes the sands of time. It's a reason why I'll go back and watching this movie over and over again. And so yeah, Dead Poet Society was easily my number one. It was also my number one coming of age movie when we did it, which was our first top 10 movie we did on the Easy K show. So yeah, Dead Poet Society.
I just haven't seen it probably since high school. That's what was my. It's probably been 20 plus years since I've seen this movie. I can't believe you were out rewatching Dead Poets Society. I remember this movie. Isn't it? It's sad because you said you were gonna cry at. Doesn't it have a sad part at the end of it?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Every time the ending, whenever the "Oh Captain, My Captain," like tears roll down my face. I mean, it's just I just can't help it every time. It's just like when I watch Braveheart. Whenever he yells freedom, the hairs on the back of my back stand up. I can't help it. It's just there's some movies that hit you at a certain level. No matter how many times you've seen it, it still hits you that certain way.
Yeah, I need to revisit it sometime. Well, I guess yours, so I'm gonna let you guess mine. I'm sure you know what it is.
Yours is Superbad.
Hell yeah, it is. Superbad. Still my favorite coming of age, one of my favorite comedies of all time. The Judd Apatow directed Superbad. I just love it because this came out when I was fresh out of high school. It's super crude, and I just Jonah Hill and Michael Cera. They're just two best friends, and they have a little bit of disagreement on what they want to do with their future. And Jonah Hill, he just wants to go out on a bang. He just wants to have a good party at the end and get laid, and it's just really funny. And it's just a good time. I don't know. I like the friendship element of it. It's really good. And then you have a lot of cool characters in there. Seth Rogen and Bill Hader in this movie as two cops. They're hilarious. Emma Stone's in this movie, and and then I can't forget old McLovin himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had this on a lot of my lists before because it's still one of my favorites. I love this movie.
Yeah, I mean, Superbad's a good movie. I mean, it's really, for me, it's about the only Michael Cera movie I really care for. I mean, because really, the last thing I saw him in was that Molly's Game, where he has a very small role movie, but really he's been forgotten about. I mean, but because he kind of did the same thing over and over again, and man,
you don't like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. He's great, Scott Pilgrim vs.
Yeah, but still, that's early 2000. That was like 2010.
Yeah,
you're not really helping my case any. So because he's just a forgotten actor. Really, he did the same thing over and over again. Good at it for a little bit, but now we really haven't seen him a lot. And I like Superbad, but maybe it's a film I don't really relate to as much because I'm not a big drinker. I didn't do parties a lot, so maybe it's just that's the reason why.
Neither did they. That's the funny thing about it is they want to,
Yeah.
But
But maybe it's just because I never really had an interest in it. So maybe that's just why it just doesn't hold up for me as much as you. I mean, for me, it introduced us Jonah Hill as an actor. Where I mean, it's not the movie I go to when I think about Jonah Hill. I think of Wolf of Wall Street. I think of Moneyball. So this is not the movie I think of when I think Jonah Hill movie. I think of those movies over Superbad, but still funny movies. So yeah.
All right, that's my number one.
Okay, so now it's time for the hard part of compiling this list because all our commonalities are at the top of the list. So, yeah. Well, except for Dope. You had that at 3. I had that at 7. So, we can split the atom and put that at 5. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Sounds good. And I won't even fight you this time because I know Dead Poets Society is a great movie. I just haven't seen it in a really long time.
Okay. Let me figure out the bottom before. That way we can go boom, 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 boom. Okay, so 21 Jump Street, I had it at 9. You had it at 7.
So 8.
And then we had Edge of 17. I had it at 10. You had it at 8. So we can throw Edge of 17 at 9.
Sounds good.
And then throw 21 Jump Street at 8. How's that sound? Okay.
That's our only commonality, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not surprising.
All right. So you're fine with Dead Poet Society at 1?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Superbad at 2. Okay, so I had Ferris Bueller at 2. You had Spider-Man Homecoming. I think Ferris Bueller is more of a high school movie, really, compared to Spider-Man Homecoming.
Hey, Spider-Man, it's based on the Homecoming dance. That's where that title comes from.
Yeah, and then Far From Home is they're far from home, and
yeah, but they're not even in high school in that one. They're in high school, but they're on a trip. Anyways,
right.
It's fine. I don't care. You want
okay.
To for it?
No, I don't, because I don't really trust you. Okay, you had Dope at 3, right? So,
yep.
So I had Back to the Future at 3, so we'll put that at 6.
I thought you had Dope on your list.
Yeah, we put it at 5.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got what you're saying.
All right, so what'd you have it for?
Sing Street.
Okay, I'll put that at 7.
Okay.
And then I'll put Scream at 10. Gives us a horror movie on the list. Kind of spices the list up.
What was Scream on your list, sir?
4.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Scream's a 7. But who cares about your other movies? We're just gonna throw it in there.
Well, I mean, now we have comedies, we have good dramas on the list, we have a musical on the list, and we have a horror movie on the list. And we have a superhero movie. So we kind of have the best of all, and an action movie with 21 Jump Street. So we kind of hit all the boards. So let's announce this list to the E2Cage fans. The top 10 high school movies. Yeah. At number 10, Scream. At number 9, Edge of 17. At number 8, 21 Jump Street. At number 7, Sing Street. At number 6, Back to the Future. At number 5, Dope. At number 4, Spider-Man Homecoming. At number 3, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. At number 2, Superbad. And the number 1 movie set in a high school is Dead Poet Society. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Honorable mentions, go.
Oh, yeah. I had a Ferris Bueller's Days Off, Dead Poet Society, Breakfast Club, like we talked about. I had Bring It On. I do still have a weird affinity for that movie, even though, it's kind of cheesy, but it's fun. Why can't I think? Kirsten Dunst. Yeah, Kirsten Dunst in that movie. Cheerleading. I don't know. You've seen Bring It On, hadn't you?
That long time ago.
The Duff with Meg Whitman. I do like that movie as well. More modern day kind of Mean Girls kind of feel to it. I had American Pie in here. You can't forget the old original American Pie. That one time at band camp. I mean, that was a movie I struggled not putting on my list. Yeah. Donnie Darko. The reason I didn't put this, I remember loving this movie when I was in school. It's an early 2000 movie, I think 2001 or 2000. It's got a very young Jake Gyllenhaal in it. Drew Barrymore's in it. And I remember it being trippy and stuff, but I just haven't seen it in so long. I didn't want to put it on the list because I wouldn't really have anything to talk about because I remember it's trippy as all get out. And then I had Back to the Future in there, and I had Booksmart, more recent coming of age movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. So
yeah, it's pretty good. I think what's his name? His wife directed this movie. Why can't I remember her name? Anyways, Olivia Wilde. Yeah.
Yeah, leave it on.
Yeah, she directed it. What are your honorable mentions?
So one of my honorable mentions was it was going to be on the list, but I was like, no, I can't do it. But it was close because it's a magical school, and I was going for the high school ages. So I was going to throw Harry in the Order of Phoenix, but I didn't do it. So that's technically a high school movie,
Yeah.
but so. But that's what I was like. It's a little bit of a stretch, so let's not do that. I had American Pie. Love that movie. Very funny comedy, and good coming of age film. I had Pretty in Pink. Really great Molly Ringwald coming of age film. I also put Meet Earl and the Dying Girl. That's a very good one. You don't like that one?
No, that's another one. That and the Infinite,
I think you like that one.
Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. All those movies.
I don't know anything about that one.
Those are all to like that and the other one that you had on your list. I don't know. They're just. I think it's because it's just too.
Perks of the Being Wallflower.
Yeah, those are just too young for me. The kids and stuff. I don't connect with them, I guess, because it's not my generation of kids.
Well, that sounds like your problem, not the movie's fault.
I remember I'm like, this is not how kids act.
You're right. Well, every movie should be set in the 40s and everything, so that way you could relate to it. Is that right?
It doesn't feel right. I don't know what it is. It just don't feel right.
Okay, so I had Mean Girls as well. I had Easy A. I had Superbad. The Spectacular Now, Spider-Man: Homecoming. One movie I'm shocked that's not on your list, Lady Bird.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't even put that in my honorable mentions, but yeah, I do like that movie.
High School Musical, Guilty Pleasure. Love, Simon, which is a very good high school drama coming of age film. And then I went with last year's The Way Back, the Ben Affleck sports movie. I was going to go with that one, but I was like, it's more about Ben Affleck than it is, because I was wanting to throw a sports movie in the list. And it was really the only one I was really wanting to throw in there because I didn't really want to talk about Remember the Titans. And but I didn't throw it because I felt like it was more about Ben Affleck's alcoholism than it was about the actual high school basketball. So yeah, that's why I didn't put it on my list. So yeah, that's my honorable mentions, and very good top 10. I think we did a good job on this one.
Yeah, I had fun. It was good. I don't know about if we could have done any better. I don't know what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. So, guys, that is another episode of the Easy K Show. Guys, check us out here every week, sometime on the weekend, and we'll talk about another episode. Next week, we are talking about Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, hopefully. And if not, I don't know what we're going to do. So yeah, we're going to talk about the Fellowship of the Ring. It'll be a fun episode. And yeah, and I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, you can check out Randy Cage's Letterboxd for his movie reviews he's been reviewing. He's probably been more busy than I am. Just hasn't been anything out in theaters that I really want to see. The reviews have been kind of awful, so I really haven't had a chance to go back to the theater since Shang-Chi. So might be a little bit before I do a review, but I will have a TV review probably in the week of the finale of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So I want to talk about. I'll have a review of the finale of that show probably sometime this week. So yeah, and then check us out, like I said, here every week on the ECK Show. So guys, until next week, all too easy.
Peace out.
You're still here? Go home. It's over.